We shot a zombie horror film in 12 hours, and here's the mistakes that we made so you don't have to. On every film, you're going to be pressed for time and you're going to be rushed, especially when it's no budget and low budget filmmaking.
You know, I never walk out of a movie, but yeah.
We use Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Cameras, both the 4K, 6K, matched them together in a zombie horror film, and we shot 2 cameras at a time just to make things a little bit faster for us so we could actually finish the complete zombie horror film in 12 hours. When you're rushed like this, you're obviously going to make mistakes and you're going to see things that you wish you had done. No matter how prepared you think you are in such a time crunch to get things done that you often miss things and you make mistakes.
You're all gonna die.
Now, when you're shooting no budget, low budget stuff, you know, you got to be fair to your crew and the people coming to work for you and the actors, especially if you're not paying.
How's the TiVo working out? Hadn't hooked it up? No TiVo?
And you're doing a personal passion project or you're just trying to show yourself and get out there into the world. That's why we shot this in 12 hours, because I just wanted to be in and out. I don't want to abuse people's time too much. I want to show you some behind the scenes of us shooting this zombie horror film and just talk a little bit of what we did. First off, of course, this is no low budget. So that's guerrilla style filmmaking. That means no permits. Just go out there and shoot and do the best you can. So using the 2 Blackmagic cameras, the Pocket 4K and the Pocket 6K, I was able to cover more angles with using those 2 cameras because they're going to match up really good because it's the same color science. Different sensors, so it's not going to be exactly perfect, but it's going to be damn close. It's going to be very close where you can just make some tweaks to match them all together.
Always the sign of good movie making.
No, let's keep the screams off because that's too much attention for. I would think people would be like.
And
Actually, yeah.
and then am I supposed to like die and like fall onto the ground or like
No,
anything?
So, yes, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Like-
Hold her.
Yes.
Make sure she doesn't fall.
So I'll be like,
Yeah.
and then do I do anything or just keep
No, we're
struggling?
just struggle,
Oh, okay.
and then I'm going. Yeah.
The first thing that we did is I took the entire crew and the actors out there to walk the script. So showed them every step of where we're going to shoot. This is kind of like a location scout within blocking.
This is important for our zombie because the zombie is going to come out from the corner here and stand in the street there.
Right.
Are we still thinking about it?
No, we're continuing on. The zombie just comes.
Block, light, shoot. That's the standard movie practice. You know, you're going to block your actors and then you're going to light your actors and then you're going to film.
Rotate with you like that. Very slowly. Yeah. Breathe. I'm going to turn back. Here. And then my zombie is there at the little hidey. Okay. Then we come back, and this is when you're shutting this glass door behind you.
Right to left. So I pick you up here and then another right to left.
We think you're going to turn to look at the window, but you don't. So you kind of we'll play it action like, oh, noise. And then you just kind of be like, and then you get your phone and then you take your selfie pic. Camera's more in this-ish area because I don't want to see him. I just want to see the arm. And I want to see the struggle. You and him fight.
Where am I going to
Where do you feel comfortable being grabbed?
Well, not here.
Well, no, yeah. This is probably good.
Definitely.
Yes. Okay. Is it okay if we grab a little shirt? Okay. Do a little shirt, make it, struggle, grab his wrist, right? We're going to struggle, and then we're going to push him away. And then, yeah, she should push you away. Shadow, yep, exactly. Boom.
Is there only going to be one
So this
One
is
here,
kind of,
yes.
like I said, a location scout, technical scout, and blocking all mixed together. So to make things a little bit faster, we were just going to stay on one lens. We weren't going to switch lenses a whole lot.
Do you know anything about film production?
Well, I like to think so.
Switching lenses take time, and if you don't have the extra time,
Let me see.
wider shot, move back. Want a tighter shot, move closer. We used all Zeiss compact prime on both cameras. On the Pocket 4K, we used a Metabones adapter to adapt the EF to the Micro Four Thirds. We took advantage of all the Zeiss CP2s on both cameras, so we had a matching set of lenses. After we blocked everything and we talked about the script, so everybody's informed, everybody knows where we're going first, second, third, and moving on throughout the night. That's going to speed everything up if everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows exactly what's going on. So another thing we did is we didn't mess with a lot of tripod. We just lived on a gimbal and a steady vest. The steady vest allowed us, like I said, to move in and out, so wide shot, medium, tight shots very quickly. So we used the 4K, the Pocket 4K on the gimbal with the steady vest just to make things very quickly. It allows us to move into place very quickly, make adjustments very quickly without having to pick up cameras and tripods and sliders and things like that. So we could move very fast throughout this whole production. And then with the 6K, we put that on a shoulder rig so we could also move very fast. Now we only had one focus and one focus puller. So we kept that on the Pocket 4K on the gimbal to pull focus that way. And then the shoulder rig, the operator pulled his own focus by hand.
Second sticks.
Scene 2A, take 1.
And we maximized all the LED lightings that we had, from light panels to mono lights. That's the COB LED mono lights, to some tungsten lights. So also, this is part of our scout and our technical scout, is I showed everybody where all the lights were going to go from scene to scene. So when we first started out, we walked down the street here. We were only going to use 2 tungsten lights. We were going to use a lot of natural lights from the street, an LED tube light just to help fill her up. And then when we got closer to our actual main location, we used 2 tungsten lights shining out the window just to give us that overhead street light look. And we used some gel on those lights too, just really ugly yellow horror film kind of color.
It will be hard light. Hard light, hard light.
That's the beauty of horror films, is it doesn't always have to be exactly perfect colors, because we're not matching any sun. We had dirty lights, dirty street lights, and then we used our tungsten lights and made them dirty too. And our LEDs, we used some yellow gel on one of our LEDs to give us that really eerie yellowish glow out the window there.
Let me, Jessica.
But the thing about making your own films and going out there and shooting is you're going to see things in the editing room and you're going to be like, oh, I wish I shot this like this. Oh, why didn't I move this light like this? Why didn't I turn this up? And that's always going to make you a better filmmaker, when you can actually just go out there and make something and then visualize the mistakes you made, and then hopefully carry that over into your next project where you don't make those mistakes. Even though I've worked on large productions and medium-sized and small productions for 20 years, you're still with that pressure and that time limit, and working with people who are not quite at the same level as you are. You're always teaching and helping them move along the entire production. So it makes it very difficult to shoot something like this, especially in 12 hours. For the blood, we used some cheap Halloween blood that we bought online, and then we used the old tried and true tradition in the film industry of using corn syrup with some food coloring to mix it together so we got the right consistency. Blood we purchased was very thin. In order for us to thicken it up, we added the corn syrup and then the food coloring to our liking to make it a little bit darker. And we used just syringes with rubber tubing.
I wanted to read how to
On the first try, it didn't really quite work out. It shot off to the side where we didn't want it because the tube had twisted in the wrong position. So here's like take 2, and then we nailed it with the second take.
1, action.
One of the problems with also making horror movies is the cleanup, especially if you do like a lot of blood. Like I really like to do a lot of blood and stabbings and things like that. But that always means for a big mess. And a big mess means big cleanup. If you don't get it right the first time, you know that blood's going to be everywhere, and then you're going to have to clean it up real quickly and then try again and clean it up real quickly and try it again. So practice makes perfect, and knowing right where it's going to do and where it's going to go is really one of the hardest things, especially like I said, you press for time and money and you just want to move on quickly. We were very fortunate on the second take that this worked perfectly. But in the next BTS video, I'm going to show you there was a lot more blood and it was much more challenging. I think the entire crew was happy. I tried to do everything possible to keep everybody happy and keep everybody in good spirits, even though I am pushing and pressuring everybody to do their job and to work hard. It's still a job. It's maybe a fun hobby for everybody, but it's still at the end of the day a very tough job. I think that's going to do it for this video. Remember to hit the like and subscribe. And if you want more filmmaking videos, I go into everything, technical stuff, cameras, lighting. It's all here. Playlist, subscribe button, like, notification bell, and we'll see you in the next video.